to say thank you everyone for coming. My name's Bradley, I'm from Footpatrol. Obviously, this is a big deal for us and obviously a big deal for everyone involved, 2 times Elliott and Open Book. But before I start talking too much, because I know we want to hear what the panelists have to say, can I introduce and get a big round of applause for our host, Kris Foster.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Let me take a minute to take all this in for a minute. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Good. Sorry, check 1, check 2. Sorry. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the very first Inclusive Access. As part of this partnership with Footpatrol and 2 times Elliott and Nike, my name is Kris, the co-founder, along with my good friend and brother James. We thank you all for coming this evening to share your care and support. Most importantly, your awareness. Early 2020, life wasn't going according to plan. The world seemed as there was no place for me to fit in, as well as millions of other disabled individuals, both in the UK and globally. I received a message one day offering an extended hand and a shoulder to lean on, an opportunity from a period of darkness come a moment of hope. James saw me, the real me. The hope and dreams and passions and desires, achievements that need to be heard, a need to feel wanted, for the first time in my life, somebody saw past my disabilities and looked into my heart and realized I needed a friend and a change and a chance. Open Book was born. James and I set out on a journey fueled by passion, determination, but most of all, a desire to make and achieve real action, awareness, and social change. We gather here tonight to support that change. Open Book shines a light on those talents, abilities, and passion. Simply to society and stigmas aren't heard. In my past 2 years, we have continued to work hard and have conversations with over 100 guests. Each week, show up with their hearts open. Their minds share the truth. And to you all, we salute you and hear you, and most importantly, we continually see you. Open Book is a fighter for balance, fairness, equality, and real change. For James and I, a dear friend, a role model tonight, marks a huge step and a new stage in our friendship. This is monumental, a platform where achieved so much with so little support. Our gratitude and love for everyone here in the audience can't be measured and put into words. We must start tonight with a thank you to Footpatrol, Bradley especially, for his heart's desire for important. Sorry, it's emotional for me. I need my brother next to me for a minute. No, nothing's happened. I just need you
Oh, you
here.
just want me to stand there? Okay.
Sorry.
Do you want to hold it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to start again from this part.
Do you want me to read some of it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have to do your voice.
You have to do my voice.
Right. I can't do your voice. We must start tonight with thanks to Footpatrol and Bradley, especially for their and his desire to support our community and for understanding the importance of standing for us and by us. I can't read it either. You are heroes, and I hope this is just the start and example for others to follow in your gracious footsteps. 2 times Elliott. It's weird me reading this bit. You read that bit.
Sorry. Yeah. Where we go? Sorry, I've lost my head. 2 times Elliott. The gracious footsteps of 2 times Elliott. Edmund, Curtis, Gabby, Connor, Marco Jordan. Nono, Toby, Alice, Adrian, have no idea how much your support and care towards this platform has made. It's what we see today. Your love is evident. Respect for each other and others and myself have kept motivated and know James. Yep. Equally proud. I'm thankful for all your kindness extended to me and gracious, selfless hard work to make Open Book what it is today. And of course, an extended Open Book family, Charlie, Tirza, Chloe. Also, shared thanks, endless gratitude.
We're nearly there now. Nearly finished.
Nearly finished. Now with our thanks out of the way to our guests tonight. Yes. Thank you. Now with our thanks out of the way and our guests tonight, we are truly honoured to be joined on stage by full of real superstars, a group who fight for adversity and have beaten and continue to break boundaries in our very own Avengers. Tonight, I'm joined by global model Ellie. Big shout, please. A disability advocate, a warrior, Jay. And fashion designer, Jake. And his sister, Daisy. Tonight we make history, and you are here to witness it. Inclusive Access 2022. Let's get things started. Again, I want to say thank you to everyone. I would like... Sorry. I'd like everyone to please introduce themselves and what you're doing to influence change.
Hello everyone, I'm Ellie. I'm 20 and a busy working model, a passionate dancer and a performing arts student. And I love what I do. I am proving to the world that anything is impossible, but I'm possible.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. Pass it to Jake.
Thank you, Ellie. Ellie, I just want to say in front of everyone, I've been a fan of yours for about 2 years or so at least, okay? I'm a bit nervous sitting next to you here, all right?
Same.
But it's
Same.
real fangirl energy here, okay? I really, really am, Ellie. Yeah, nice to meet everyone. I'm Jake. I'm a fashion designer. I'm the creator and founder of We Can Fly, which is an inclusive fashion brand aiming to change the perception of disabilities in society. So I influence change by creating accessible clothing, which is open to everyone. The creations that I make have multiple functions on them, often that are tailored to a certain individual's need, or maybe to a charity's need, if I'm working with a charity. I also include people with disabilities in the process of design, so we get hands-on in workshops, learn about printing techniques, garment dyeing, and just have fun and have a smile on your face, really. And then sometimes those designs I'll take, work on them a bit, and put them on t-shirts like I'm wearing here. So We Can Fly is inspired by someone very, very close to me, who I often have to do the talking on their behalf. However, this evening that's not the case, and this is a pre-warning, they can talk for England, so...
With good reason.
And she is also sitting right next to me.
Hello, I'm Daisy Baker-Cliff. I'm 24, and I'm Jake's twin sister, and I'm trying to influence change by raising awareness within my community at work of disabilities, and by just representing the value that a person with disabilities can bring to the table. So I work with horses, and I'm supported to work with horses, and I enjoy supporting others and showing others what to do, and just being a general ambassador for people with disabilities.
Wow. This is nice, isn't it? Yeah, guys, I'm Javeno. See, I'll talk about you in a minute. I do a little bit of fitness, a little bit of health, a bit of sweating in the gym. I'm trying to influence change by showing people the power of care, showing people the power of just getting people included, and normality. You feel me? Normality. There's so much power in just treating people normal, and I think that's what I try and kind of pride myself on. As regards to you see you, Foster. You know, as a young man, as men, I think I speak for most men that the definition of masculinity is something that people question all the time, like what is a man or what is strength? So growing up, a lot of men, even myself, think that strength is muscle and gym and stuff like that. You are one of the strongest men that I've ever met in my life, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I think if people knew what you went through, you're one of the strongest men to get here. And I mean that. And I even know all the boys from Footpatrol, I came here for you. Believe that. I've got love for you lot. The rest of you are all right. Like Sam, you're all right. You know what I mean? But you, I came here for you because I wanted to see you and just be in your presence, because you inspire me. I know you say a lot of things about other people, but I don't think you realize how inspiring you are to other people. And I think you need to really soak up tonight and just enjoy every minute of it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I want to get into this conversation now a little bit more deeper. Where did you find your passion to advocate for disabilities? That question's going to go to you, Jay, first.
My passion, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't something... If people follow me on social media, the story is I've trained people with disabilities for free for 21 years. I've never took a penny off anybody. And that's something that I'm very proud of. That wasn't the plan. I didn't decide to open my gym and it was just for disabled people. So long story short, I seen something that I didn't like and it didn't sit well with me. I seen a young boy that was doing a session. It was one of my sessions I used to manage. I used to work for Manchester City Council. I used to manage fitness sessions. And I had a session and this young boy was in there. I'll never forget the session. And he was in a wheelchair and I'm watching the session. He was bored. Can I swear? No, I won't swear. He was really, really bored to the point where it was embarrassing. The person that was delivering the session to him was so patronizing. This was a young boy, you know, young, good-looking, athletic, charismatic young boy. And I watched the session and I'm saying, it was embarrassing. And when the instructor had a toilet break, this young man got up out of his chair and he walked over, poured himself a drink and sat back down. So then I was watching and his parents were in the room and I walked in, I was fuming. And I walked in and I said to him, don't ever let another man dilute your power. Don't ever let another man or anybody tell you that you have to stay in that wheelchair and that wheelchair is you just stay there. I said to him, if you can get up, you get your ass up. He gave him the lightest weights possible. And I said to him, I'm not saying that you have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I know you can do more. And you've sat in your chair for 40 minutes. Let this man patronize you, talk to you like a baby, because you're in a wheelchair. And I said, I know you can do more. So when the instructor came back in, I told him to go home. I told him that I'll do the rest of the session. For the next 25 minutes, he stood up out of his chair for 25 minutes. I made him sweat. I didn't pick on him and do silly things. I pushed him within reason. And I said to him, that wheelchair doesn't define you. Don't ever let nobody treat you like that wheelchair is all that you are. And then it was a bit awkward. I thought his dad was a big man, bigger than me, and I thought his dad might come over. And his dad came over, and his mum, and literally we just cried for 30 minutes. And they said exactly what I said before. It's the first time he was ever spoken to like that. And they said all they ever wanted as a parent is for people to treat their child normal. And I didn't walk in there and see Dylan in a wheelchair, Dylan with cerebral palsy. I just seen Dylan. And the parents said all they ever wanted was people to treat him normal, and I was the first person to do it. He was just a brat. He was 18, 19. He was just a brat, and if he's acting like a brat, I will tell him. If I feel like he can do more, I will tell him. And I didn't see the disability. And I've never, to this day, seen a person with disability. I see the person, and that was 21 years ago, and I've never stopped. And it's just gone a bit global now, and I think it's a powerful message, though.
Everyone. You know, I think I can speak on for behalf of the majority of people with disabilities. You were born to inspire for others to be inspired, because when it comes down to people with the able-bodied community and the way we're valued and we're seen, you are the epitome of excellence. And I say that firsthand. I personally want to say thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Kris.
Real talk. Jake, that same question to you. You know, what got you into, really wanting to advocate for people with disabilities?
Initially, it's an easy answer because it is Daisy, being Daisy's twin, growing up side by side next to someone who is disabled and I'm not, and seeing the ups and the downs that Daisy's gone through, that our family's gone through. That's where the whole idea of what I do sparked. In 2017, I did a project which was about Daisy and her disability in society, solely about Daisy, and I looked into how beautiful Daisy is as a person and her personality, but she doesn't get the chance to show that in society because she's excluded. So from that project, that tapped into a different level of my work where I realized that's what I felt like I had to do, not just wanted to do, but I had to find a way that it became bigger than just Daisy and being just an advocate for Daisy, because Daisy's story isn't just her, you know, there's so many others with disabilities. So I worked hard on how I could progress and create something, and that became We Can Fly. And with We Can Fly, I've now met quite a lot of different individuals with disabilities, different disabilities I hadn't heard of, different charities, and it's just amazing, man. And I always come back to the same feeling that being around someone with a disability is just so incredible. 9 times out of 10, they are the most positive, kindest, and just caring person that you're going to be around. And I realized that I was so lucky to have always had that. And I was in this unique position where, you know, being a twin, you can't get closer than that. So how could I use that position to actually have others, you know, not the disabled community, just society, see actually what an incredible position it is to be around someone with a disability, because I think we can all benefit from that. So that's where, you know, obviously it's come from days, and now I'm trying to grow it further to kind of implement it into society.
You know, when we met, and when we first started meeting and we started talking, and you kind of was telling me a little bit more about the brand. And when I was kind of like really, really like looking into it and the work and craftsmanship that you do, and it's mind-blowing. And I think the fact of where you are making this brand, you know, in regards, first of all, for your sister, it's incredible. And when I've seen other people wearing it, and it just fits, it just feels right, and it feels like, the sad truth about it is, I think a lot of people here, especially with the disabled community, right, they just want us to dress in beige, and they just want us to not fit in, right? And yet, with what you're doing, you know, I'm gonna swear, guys, you just make cool shit. And like, you know, like real talk. I mean, I'm just, honestly, amazing, man, amazing. You know, Daisy, I wanna ask you a question. The sad truth about it is there's a lot of stigmas in regards of people with disabilities. Now, being an autistic person and speaking to another autistic person, what sort of challenges have you gone through?
Wow. What a question to start off with. Well, I suppose growing up, not so much in primary school. I didn't really realise it so much, but looking back now, I was still then quite isolated from groups of friends. But I particularly started to notice it and feel it as I got older and more into secondary school, feeling like I was pushed away from friendship groups. I think my social abilities and my general understanding in life has been underestimated a lot, and I have a lot to give. I have a lot of it. If you sit down with me, I can talk to you about. You could probably find a lot of common ground with me, and so I think I've faced the sort of stigmas of not being able to, people thinking that I'm not able to be social and form a good friendship. Also, the sad nature of my disability is that sometimes I get upset, and I used to feel really awkward if it happened in public. As I've got older, I've sort of gotten over it. I know that it's just part and parcel of what I have to deal with, and I will pick myself up and move on. But it's, yeah, I do sometimes get people looking at me going, why is she behaving like that? Like, why is she doing that when she's clearly older? And there's just a lack of willingness to be open-minded and realise that lots of people have lots of things going on that are not necessarily visible on the surface.
Thank you, Daisy. Thank you. Now, this question is to our lovely Ellie.
Oh, yeah.
You're on.
Thank you.
How important is it to see real representation within our community?
So, I think representation is very important. Everyone needs to change in a more diverse world.
Absolutely. And I think I can speak for that myself, right? As a person who has Downs and a person that has, never really seen what identity really looks like. Until of recent, when I look at Ellie, it's a reflection of myself when I was 20 years old.
Aww,
And
cute.
I wish I was 20 years old now.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I was.
Be it then.
Yeah, it should be, right? It should be. The positive role models that we see within our communities now. And it gives me hope to the next generation to come, right? Because growing up, we never had no form of real representation. And that's what's so difficult and so hard. But now when I see the likes of Ellie, when I see Daisy, when I see Ashley, when I see Chloe, when I see Holly, the hope it gives to the world is incredible. And this is what this platform is about. And we're doing it and we're smashing it. And I'm proud of every single one of you.
Hear, hear.
I'm going to ask that question also to yourself, Ellie. How important is it to see real representation within our community?
So important. We're not represented enough in the wider community. I think it would be good and nice to hopefully see more things like this happening in the future, and more brands, companies willing to involve us in workshops, a bit like Jake plans to potentially do in the future, and just for our voices and our creativity to be witnessed and heard. We can, even if people with disabilities can't communicate like ourselves, they'll all have a way to express their creativity and to tell their story. And so many more people should be given the chance to bring something of value to the table and to show what they can do.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, come on, guys. There's a stigma about people who are autistic, and they put us in a box. They say we're all like Rain Man, and I think it's quite clear to see that we're all different and we're all individuals, right? And that's what I love about you, Daisy. You know,
Thank you.
I love the fact that you're unapologetic yourself, and that's fantastic. And just walk in the amazing person that you are, because you're exceptional, and just be yourself because you're smashing it.
Thank you. And also, just to say to what you said earlier on, society wanting to push us in beige. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious from what I'm dressed in tonight. That's never going to happen. I like to bring unique style, and so we've got so much to offer.
We most definitely have. Most definitely have. Jay, question now to yourself. What do you think, you know, as someone who really is smashing the media right now, you really are, what can brands and organizations bring to the table to create a more wider space within the media for people with disabilities?
What could the brands do?
Yeah, what brands and media do to be more inclusive of people?
If I'm
with
honest, it's a bit of
disabilities?
an awkward one because the brands are scared. Let's be honest. I think we're all on. There's power in conversation, and I'll only ever tell the truth. I'm personally working with a lot of brands. I'm going to be the change. Like, you watch. Like, I do shoots all the time. Every time they come down to the gym, and they want to do a shoot with. I hate saying it. They want to do a shoot with Javeno. Javeno comes with Josh, Marley. Javeno comes with my people. So anyone who's ever been to the gym to do a shoot or an article on me, any TV people, you'll never see me by myself. Because I represent my people, you understand? So if I'm in the Sun newspaper, if I'm on TV, I'm on there with my people. And there's brands out there that are scared to do that. They're like, I'm not being disrespectful, I'll only be real. People are scared of disabled people. I've known many trainers in gyms who are scared of disabled people, and that's a massive problem that I think, I'm not really sure the answer now is going to be fixed. And I think it could be down to possibly just being good people, man, and being a human. The only way I can explain it is there's a lot of awkward questions that people make awkward. There's a lot of awkward questions that shouldn't be awkward. If somebody was to walk into my facility and wanted to train and do an exercise session, I would say, have you got any injuries? Have you got any knee injuries, back injuries? And they'll tell me. With disabled people, people are scared to ask them questions. I'm like, why? If Ash came in my gym, you think I'd be scared to say, so Bill, what can you do with your legs? Can you move your left leg? Can you move your right leg? I ain't afraid to say that. Where the general public are scared to ask people. But I think it's the manner in which they ask. They talk to people like babies, like they're patronizing. If I said to you, Kris, what's wrong with you? Is it Down syndrome? It's offensive. If I say, bro, you got Down syndrome, right? So what's your capabilities? Can you balance? How's your hip move? But that's not rude.
No.
But I think people don't understand that, and they feel like if it's somebody with a disability, to ask them questions, you can't do that. Thinking, what are you talking? You're talking like you're talking to lions or tigers. You're talking to Ashley. You're talking to Kris. You're talking to Daisy. You're talking to normal people. But in their pursuit to be respectful, they're actually being patronizing as hell. So in their pursuit of, okay, I don't want to offend that person, they're actually causing the biggest offense. So I think with media companies, I think they need to take a chance, because what they don't realize is that you might pay so whatever what they class as amazing is what? A woman with a booty out doing booty shots, a man with muscles, and this isn't a fitness game, and different industries have got different things, but what they class as amazing, they need to redefine that. Amazing comes in all different shapes and forms. Amazing may come as LeBron James or Lewis Hamilton. Amazing may come as Chris Foster or Ashley or Daisy. You see what I'm saying? So I think if the brands kind of redefine what they class as amazing, they'll open up the doors to so many more things. You feel me?
Absolutely. 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 You know, growing up in a special needs community, there was a sad truth that one of my teachers said to me, and it was very dangerous. And it was, Kris, you have to learn how to fit in society. And the damage that done for me, and I carried that for such a long time, and breaking those stigmas in my own life, come from time. Growing up, never really seeing any form of identity. The sad truth about it is, guys, 20 years later, we still don't see it. And this is the problem. When we are still not seeing any real representation within the media, you know, me and Ashley grew up in the same area. There was no one that we could look at and say, that looked like us. And today, we're seeing it, but we're not really seeing it in the wider form. And this is what this platform is trying to do. We're trying to change the perspective and the narrative of how people with disabilities are being seen. And we're showcasing great gifts and great talent out there to the world. And with that, the possibilities are endless. But it comes with the fact of real, genuine conversations just like this.
You know, one thing I want to add to that makes sense is the ability to listen. And I think people don't listen. So, from my personal experience, it's the first time I met you. But I remember your name, right? You see what I'm saying? So I've spoken to you maybe once on Instagram. So that means when me and you having a conversation, I'm not doing what most people do with disabled people is they kind of, have you ever chat to somebody for 20 minutes and then after 20 minutes you kind of go, well, I don't know what that person said. My mum used to say it to me as a kid, but now I know your name. I remember your name because when you was talking, I'm looking at you. I'm listening to what you're saying. With most disabled people, they have conversations with people where that person is just putting on the front to be nice and treat them good and show that, yeah, I'm listening and you're okay. Oh, yeah, I'm being. They're doing that, but it's false because in that false pretense, they're not actually looking in that person's face and listening to what that person's saying. So the only example I'm thinking is that I've only, Jake, Daisy, Ellie, I've only met these guys now. But I've listened to every word that they said, even before here when I'm watching the videos, the amazing videos, I'm listening to every single word that person's saying. So I think, in the real world, why can't the real world do that? If the real world actually listened, rather than just think about what they're going to respond with, rather than actually listen to the words, it'll be a totally different world. So hopefully one day that can happen. You know what I mean?
So true, so true. Ellie, are you ready? What was your proudest moment?
Well, a proud moment was when Adidas told me they wanted to make a tattoo out of me. And it was displayed near the Tower Bridge in London, but now it's at the theatre in my college, so I can see it every day.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That question to you as well, Jake.
You know what, I've been fortunate in a way, and I've worked hard since I've done, you know, what I've been doing for the years I have. It's not too many years, to be honest, probably like 2-3 years I've been doing fashion design, really. But so I've had a fair bit of success on the way. Got a scholarship at uni. I worked for one of my favorite brands, etc., etc. I've done well, but honestly, the day that we shot that video, yeah, it was the first time that I've had days included in what I've been doing. So for the first time, Daisy was gifted something by not just anyone, by Footpatrol. Yeah, so that's like, I came away from that day thinking, that was quite a moment for me, actually. I don't even know if I realized it at the time, but afterwards I thought, wow, like, I've kind of carried We Can Fly. We're still growing, we're still new, we're just starting, but, you know, I've got to a point where I've got my sister here sitting with me, the inspiration behind why I set it all up. And that for me was a proud moment, so I would have to say that.
Daisy?
Can I, first of all, because this is quite important to sort of get understanding, just sort of reference back to what Javeno said a minute ago with the what the understanding. I think, unfortunately, this is something I've also experienced a lot with the presumptions of my capabilities. The way in which people communicate is quite patronizing and sort of forgetting what I'm capable of, or it's, I think, one thing that will break down the barriers. I know what Javeno is saying is very true, that brands are probably scared. But just treat us like, I'm going to use a word that I really don't like it, normal, because what does that word even mean? Who can define normal? Somebody please find me that can. But just have a conversation with and chat to individuals with disabilities just like you would any other person. Just get to know them. You can find common ground, and that's a good way of starting to break down the barriers. And to answer your question, my proudest achievement is definitely doing this with Jake. This has been incredible, because I've done little bits of work with Jake, and it's great doing these sorts of things. But for myself, finding true happiness and a sense of belonging around my horses, and knowing it's somewhere that I truly fit in. And so being able to go and complete 3 years of education in a specialist college with horses, which is like my uni, and now being settled in my place of work, which again I'm supported, but I go every day feeling like I'm going to work, and I can get up feeling like I'm making such a valuable contribution to the place that I'm going, and that makes me feel proud every day. It's not necessarily something that stands out above the rest. But I always feel like there's something I can give. Sorry, I know I've given a long answer. I've got one last thing very importantly to say.
You're right.
I've had a struggle in my life controlling my diet and controlling my weight. That is something I will always struggle with in my life, and I've gone through periods of feeling like I'm completely out of control, and no matter how hard I try, I am not going to be able to get on top of it. Recently, I started the NHS Couch to 5K, started it back in the summer, and through that I found such a love for running. I've toned up massively and lost about a quarter of a stone, and I can say with confidence for the first time in probably about a year, possibly longer, I actually finally feel again like I have the upper hand over my disability.
Same question.
Same question.
I'm 37, right? So this social media thing's a bit new to me. It's a bit hard, isn't it? All these notifications on your phone and messages. But one of my biggest achievements is creating a platform. Like, I just like to showcase amazing, not just in people with disabilities. I think everyone's got amazing in him. Everybody. Like, Sam's got sick pants and trainers and hats at the back. He's amazing. Everyone's got amazing in him. I just try and showcase it. I've just been blessed to train disabled people and elderly people. So I just try and showcase the amazing in the groups that I've been given. So now, the platform that I've created is so big where, let's be real, I'll use you an example. You're my guy. I'm supposed to say nice things about you. I'm supposed to say, Kris, you're sick, you're amazing. Yay! I'm supposed to say that because I'm your guy. It's your mum. My mum's supposed to say nice things about me. She doesn't, but she's supposed to. My dad, my brother, they're supposed to. So now, I've got a platform that, an example being, real example, a video that I posted of, TikTok. For anyone over 35, it's nonsense. Don't even go on it. But I've been on it and I've had to do it, and it's pretty good. So I posted a video on TikTok. I got a lot of views. It got over 4,000 comments. But the beauty of it is, the person that was in the video, DJ, had people from all over the world. Not his mom or his dad or his sister or his brother who was supposed to say, yo, you're amazing. He had people from Venezuela, Japan, America, Ukraine who were going through a war saying, DJ, you're amazing, you're sick. And that made me so proud that I've created a platform that people from around the world can see amazing people, and they can go on. DJ's obsessed with TikTok. He's on it every day, scrolling through the comments, and he can see them things. And one of the most amazing things for me was, I'm not trying to plug my thing. If you lot see this video, DJ, the one that you see, I can't even show it you. He's got Down syndrome. He's 21 years old. He's got Down syndrome. He's a really small boy. Long story short, there was a box in front of him, and he had to jump on this box. Jumped on that box. It was easy. He looked at me, so I said, all right, let me get that a little bit higher. Do it again. Bam, he did it. I said, rah. So I made it a little bit higher. Bam, he did it again. I kept, the box was about that high. DJ jumped on this box like 3 or 4 times. And the amazing thing for me was these people weren't saying, that's amazing for a kid with Down syndrome. They were saying, that's just an amazing for a man. They didn't see his Down syndrome. You see what I'm saying? So all these comments, not one of them was, oh my God, that's amazing for a man with Down syndrome. They were saying, I can't do that. Able-bodied people over the world were saying, how is he doing that? And the fact that DJ spent 2 hours that night going through the comments, and he kept on screenshotting them, it was proper annoying. At midnight, he was sending me screenshots of people in America saying, oh my God, you're amazing. But I think as a young person, to have that kind of, you can see it, he can go online every day and see people telling him wonderful things about himself. And I think that's one of my proudest moments, that I've created something that these youngsters can, you know what I mean, they can get something from it.
See. If you're not following Jay to see that video, I suggest to go and see it. It was incredible, and it was not the fact of when he'd done it. It was the fact of when he looked at you in that video, of the fact that he'd done it, and that is what we all need. We all need that little bit of a push. So I think I have to turn around and tell you what one of my proudest moments is, right? You know, 2 years ago, I was in a very bad space in my life, right? And it was, you know, people that know me for real, can tell you that I was on the road to destruction. And when James and I, you know, come up with the concept of Open Book, we wanted to do something really, really different, and something that's never really been done before. And we've created this platform really to encourage myself. And what comes from that is when I literally joined families that were connecting and encouraging each other. And you're thinking, hold on a minute, this is bigger than just the thing of what I've created. It was a platform to create a whole family to connect together. And my proudest moment, I'd have to turn around and be open and honest with you, is being here right now. Because if I'm to be truthful, I couldn't see it. You know, I'll be honest, I was working a job that I absolutely detested, treated like absolute rubbish, and held no value. And through this platform, and through real love from genuine people, to be where I'm at right now in my new workspace is incredible. And it's simply because of the power of people, the power of love, the power of dedication, and the ability to go out there and do something that's out of our comfort zone. And I think that's what I've got to take from myself right now. And I'd have to say that's one of my proudest moments. You know, this platform has really been going for about 1.5 years now. And it's grown in such a beautiful way. But we know with the platform of where we want it to go. So my question is to, first of all, I'll give it to, you know, everyone to answer this. So I'm going to ask this question, first of all, to Jay. Where do you see Open Book, and what would you like to see from Open Book?
More, loads more, and I'm being deadly serious. This is the thing, there's power in conversation, and I think if you look at it in its most basic form, one person who gets it, you understand, you know what I mean? If you speak to one person and you explain to them how you should treat disabled people, I know that's a bit of an effed up thing to actually say, but it's not something that you should say to people, but let's call it how it is. I have to explain to people all the time. Let me tell you, the other day, last week, there was a film crew at the gym, and I had to pull this young girl because I was with one of my youngsters in a wheelchair, cerebral palsy, and she was next to him. Josh is one of the most intelligent people you'll ever meet. He's a smart ass. And this producer was next to him, and she turned to me and said, can he read? And I said, you ask him. I said, why are you asking me? I said, why don't you look at him and talk to him and work out for yourself? But she didn't know. So my theory is, I pulled her to the side and I educated her. And I said, listen, A, B, C, and D. I told her what it is, and she got it. So hopefully she can pass it on to somebody else. And then before you know it, you'll have a society, a community of people that get it. But for that to happen, what's that word that you used before? Unapologetic. I like that word, Kris. I'm going to add that to my dictionary. I think it's about pulling people when people do things that they may not seem patronized. They don't see the wrong in it. They don't see the wrong in it. Like I know old neighbor of mine. He's a really funny man. He's an old Irish man, old Irish white man. He didn't see the offense in calling somebody a the shop. He didn't see the offense in it until somebody had to educate him, saying that it's not 1960 now, you know what I mean? But he was a nice guy without being, you know what I mean? But he didn't see the offense in it. So a lot of the times with disabled people don't see the damage in what they're saying or how they're behaving. So I think with Open Book, the more of these events, like how many people are here today, next time we need 3 times more. Because that's how many more people that can possibly get it. And then they can leave this building and give it to other people and let them get it. And before you know it, remember that what me and you was talking about the other day when you was in the shop and that little girl was looking because she probably never seen somebody with Down syndrome and she was rude with it. Them kind of things will stop because people are not going to be as scared because there's going to be a community of people that get it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Where's James? James, book another one of these. Do another more. Do one tomorrow.
Daisy, that same question to you, Daisy. What would you like to see from Open Book in the future?
Well, like Javeno said, more of the same. I think more interviews and opportunities for more people with disabilities to be able to have their voices and their stories heard. A disability can affect anybody from anywhere, any walk of life, any wealth divide, and I think it's really important that it's represented and there's no reason why people with disabilities cannot be as able-bodied in at least some senses as people without disabilities. And I think it's absolutely time that the wider community starts to get that message heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To yourself, Jake, what would you like to see more of Open Book?
Yeah, I mean, and on that, on what Daisy just said there, I think this is why this is so incredible, and you don't even realize how quite incredible this is, Kris. I don't think any of us realize potentially how powerful this is. Like Daisy said, disabilities don't discriminate. It doesn't matter what corner of the world you come from, your background, anything. Disabilities don't discriminate, so we don't really even know how powerful this reach is here tonight and who then might see this. And going forward, the Open Book platform and where you're going to grow it and where it's going to go to, who knows, man, but this is just a start. So what's next for Open Book? I think there's got to be, you know, I want to see a Nike or someone take Open Book under their wing, you know, and you know, really, you know, Nike's an incredible brand, and I think with Open Book's education, that could really begin to change society like we're all saying we want to see it. We all want to see it, of course we do. The other collaboration I might have to point out is maybe a little We Can Fly one, Kris. What about that?
Hey, listen, I'm up for it, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
I love that.
Okay. Cool, yeah. We'll get some contracts written up after this, and then we'll have a little
sort it
chat.
out. James, sign it up.
No, that's fine, yeah.
Ellie, that same question for you. What would you like to see more of Open Book?
So, me like to see some more awareness out there from Open Book with visible or hidden disabilities from people in a diverse world.
Absolutely. Before I go to the audience to pose a question, I want everyone for a moment to really take this in. We've got a lot of able-bodied people here right now, and these incredible, exceptional individuals that are doing incredible, groundbreaking things within their community. Take it in, because there's people here now that can actually really make change, and I'm so thankful and grateful that you see us. We had an amazing opportunity last year, but sadly, the great Virgil Abloh passed away. But he said something to me that so resonated with me in such a way, and it was simple words, is, Kris, I see you. And we echo those words to every individual on this platform and everyone in the audience. We see you. It's the time where people can step up and be accountable, because there really needs to be radical change, and we're doing it. And I just want to say firsthand that I'm proud of every one of you. So I think it's time to ask the audience some questions. What do you reckon, Brad?
I think so.
Do you want to lead the way, or do you?
Any takers? I've got one. Here we go. Kish. Celebrity in the building, everybody.
Don't know about that. I'm a little bit late to the conversation, so apologies. But congratulations to all you for dropping some very, very profound points. And we're all learning here, and I am too. Question that I have is: are there any plans to take Open Book, and you might have said it before I even got there, onto a virtual platform? You're already on Instagram, and you're already on TikTok and YouTube. But I'm saying, can you set up a platform within gaming, like Fortnite or something like that, where all these kids, you've got their attention? Can you educate them from within games as well to basically educate and get the message across?
Wow, Kish, you really, are something, Kish. I would love to. I think I think Open Book is open to everything, and I think that's what's so powerful about this platform. And it's not just about us; it's about everyone. You're here today with what it says on the wall: inclusive access. We want to be inclusive to everything, and I don't see why we couldn't be. We just need the opportunity.
Oh, I've got another one. There's lots of fishes here biting.
I'm Kris, you all right?
I'm fantastic.
It's a very simple question. I mean, Daisy, you talked about the power of sport and how it's changing your life. And we've got Coach there as well. The other thing I'd like to see is a platform. I'd like to see more emphasis on sport. I'm not talking just Special Olympics or Paralympics. There's another group called Virtus Sports, which works with people with intellectual disabilities as well. So there's part of this platform is using sport as a means of healing people as well, giving people confidence, allowing to get jobs. There's a lot, I'll just tell you, there's a lot going on in that place we left across Europe there in research into sport and intellectual disabilities. A big project, multi-million-dollar euro project going on. and we need to get involved in that. You know my boy, you know the story, Kris, really well. He's autistic, but he didn't sleep, didn't want his food to touch his food, all of the classic symptoms, yeah? And with sport, he sleeps 8-10 hours a day now. It's helped him to relax, it's helped him to grow, it's helped his body and his mind to relax as well, because it's a constant fight with what's going on inside of him. And we've talked about this before. So my question about open book is, and are you going to tell me it's open to everything? I want to see open sport. I want you to talk more about sport and how it helps to heal people physically and mentally.
So, for me, the person who has just asked that question, is the perfect example of someone that should lead that way, because he is an example of what excellence looks like. Sam, as we know him to be called Super Sam, thankful that he's a friend, and he truly is paving the way for not just autism, but just the power and the ability of what dedication and hard work can go out there and do. What Sam has done is gone out there and completed an Ironman. And let's be face facts, majority of people in this room right now wouldn't be able to do that. That's come from hard work, dedication. So for myself, in regards of doing more for sport, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, we've got Ashley Archer, who is one of who's open book family, who is, you know, a Paralympian, you know, and he could lead that conversation easily. So of course we could do that. Why not?
Hi, Martin. Kris, it's for you. You asked everyone else on the panel. Hi, sorry, here. I'm really nervous speaking in front of people, but you give me a bit of confidence. You asked everybody where you thought open book might go. And so I want to ask you, because it's your baby.
Just repeat that again, last part, sorry.
So you asked everybody else where you thought open book could go. And I just want to see from you where you see it going, because there's a global kind of community out there, isn't there? It's not just here.
Absolutely. Where do I see open book? For me, firsthand, I think open book is endless. You know, for myself, who really, really wanted to see what real representation really looks like within the media sector, I, for one, want to see open book. If I had a magic wand and I could say, okay, abracadabra, I want open book to be here. Why can't we have our own Netflix? Why can't we go out there and do something on a wider platform, and we could go out there and speak to incredible people all over the world in all walks of life that are going out there doing groundbreaking things, just like Sam, just like Jay, just like Ellie, but on a bigger scale. Why can't that be? You know, at the end of the day, there's people out there right now that really want to hear these stories. The families that want to hear these stories. There's people in this room right now that have young children, and they're looking up to see positive role models. And why can't we be those positive role models? So to answer to your question, Netflix, we're coming for you.
Kris. Hi, Kris. So I'm really interested to hear from everybody on what you feel you're missing as a community from big charities in the third sector, and how they can help with what you're trying to achieve.
Do you just want me to answer this, or do everybody?
Open to everyone.
Okay, so for me, I personally feel that we're in a digital world right now, and when it comes down to a lot of the charity organisations, I still think we're quite prehistoric. I'm going to be honest with you. And there needs to be a whole new identity of how disability is viewed and seen. And I think when we can kind of collectively, come together and showcase some incredible individuals that can do groundbreaking things, we can then change those statistics. The statistics we get from you, we get from Scope. So at the end of the day, you know firsthand of what these statistics really look like for people with disabilities. But we can only change that by organisations like yourself and put real people in front of that. And hopefully then you're going to start creating more of an awareness and also be a wider reach for the community ahead. Does
Anyone else want to?
Do you work for Scope?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm not going to name any charities, but I personally feel if you want to be a teacher in a school, you have to love teaching, don't you? It's not a job that I could do. I can't even teach my 7-year-old. He gets me mad after 7 minutes. So to do a teaching job, you have to really love that job. To be a nurse, you have to really love caring for people. I find with certain peoples that I've come across within charities, they shouldn't be there because they don't really care for the people like the way they should. And the big example of that is, I broke a world record. I hate talking about it. I broke a world record the other day for the biggest ever disabled exercise class. And when I broke that world record, I was liaising with a charity, a disability charity, and why, come down, that's something amazing that should be showcased. They didn't come down, and they kept on giving me excuses after excuses. And I remember sitting back thinking, and at the end of it, when it was finished, they then contacted me, wanted to use the story. And I said, can't swear, can we? I said, you know what I said? But it really upset me because I thought, a world record, the biggest ever disabled exercise class in the UK, that should be something that if the people at that organisation were really, truly involved in the disabled community and really was riding for them, they should have dropped quite a few things to attend that. And my only thing is, hopefully, like I said, I'm not going to slag nobody off, but the people in them charities should really want to be there. And sometimes there's a bit of a question mark on.
What would you like to see more charity organisations do for? That's right. More charity organisations do for people with disabilities.
You know what? I think there's, from a lot of people I've worked with disabilities, a lot of people always tell me disabilities aren't cool. Disabilities aren't cool. So there's a narrative that disabilities aren't cool. Okay, fair enough. But why can't we flip that? Why can't we begin to reach out to platforms just like Open Book? It's a brilliant example. And events just like we're doing tonight with the support of Footpatrol and stuff. Once we begin to... Footpatrol, of course it's cool, we got the sneakers, we got that community. I'm trying to make something with We Can Fly where I don't care if you're disabled or not. I want you to look at my stuff and think, oh, I want that. Yeah. I want that. Yeah, so it's going to be cool. And then you're going to find out the story. Oh, wow, this T-shirt I'm wearing now is amazing. It was designed by Daisy Baker-Cliff, who has Prader-Willi syndrome. And then I want to try and flip the narrative of what being disabled actually means. So I guess reaching out to the platforms like Open Book, which are also flipping that narrative, is going to begin to help just have a better understanding. Because I think a lot of it is about disabilities being misunderstood. Just give people a minute. A lot of people, Days, she's not asking for your whole day. She doesn't want you necessarily to be your best friend. Just give her a minute and like she's doing tonight, she's going to prove to you how able people with disabilities can be.
Sorry, I just got to get it off my chest. Scope. This is not a personal dig at you or anybody, but I had an issue with scope, and it really, to this day, it doesn't sit well with me. Where to represent the disabled community, every person that speaks on it needs to speak on it with the most amount of passion. This is real shit. This isn't no gimmick. This is people's lives and day to day. And there's certain people who live this, whether you're able-bodied or not. There's people out there like myself who live this every day of my life. This ain't no gimmick. This ain't about money. It's about life and input. So now, what certain charities do, if you go and get a celebrity, guess what? It looks cool to represent the disabled community. They're not doing it because they love the disabled community or they've got brethren or friends or family members that are disabled. They're doing it because it looks cool to be a celebrity and look who I'm representing. Hey, that's what it looks like to them. And I know celebrities that have done that. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes the charities have got this thing where let's get a celebrity to endorse it because it looks cool. It's not about looking cool. It's about people that are real. It's about getting the right people. So I had somebody from Scope who was the celebrity. Can't remember what her name was. Summit Cornet. The celebrity liaison. She was a celebrity something. And the conversation was trying to get me to be an ambassador for Scope. And I said, don't give me no money. Give me a t-shirt. And every time I've done over 50 charity events. Think about that, 50 charity events where it's disabled people, elderly people, cancer patients, stroke survivors. I said, I don't want no money. Just give me a t-shirt. If you've got an event, let me speak. Because I think if my voice is heard, I guarantee I can change someone's opinion. If there's a room full of 100 people, I guarantee I can change one person's opinion, which is enough. They turned it down and gave that ambassador role to a celebrity. That celebrity can't ride for disabled community like me because this is my heart, this is my life, and it me off. It's not way saying that I'm bigger than that person because it's not about status, it's about what's in my heart, and I'm pure-hearted. So every time I speak on the disabled community or somebody with stroke or somebody with cancer, somebody with cerebral palsy, I'm saying it from the purest part of my soul. A celebrity can't do that when they're just doing it to boost their image. So I sometimes feel with charities, don't try and chase celebrities who aren't real, who don't ride for the community. Get real people. Get real people who, this doesn't die for me. So somebody who's actually passionate about this, I will speak about it just as passionately Monday to Sunday, January to December. It doesn't stop for me. A celebrity will do it because they're getting paid or do it for a certain amount of time. And as soon as you guys turn your back, they're on to the next one. That doesn't stop for somebody like me or people in this room who ride for the disabled community. So with the charities, it's not about the celebs. They ain't going to get the awareness out there. It's about the people who they've got a bit more inside them. Do you know what I'm saying?
We live it.
Yeah.
You know. And I think, just to add on that, and then I know we're going to ask the next question,
I just want to respond to the thing about the charity. As I mentioned earlier on, I work with horses, and I can honestly say that it gives me the biggest sense of fulfillment to work with animals, and I think it's more widely understood now and realised the power that the contact with animals can give to anybody, but they bring so much to my life, not just a sense of work and importance and responsibility, but they bring a sense of friendship. And also in my life, they replace, for example, part of my condition is I can't have children. And those connections that I get with horses and animals, they replace that for me. And I think what I want to see is more charities offering opportunities for people to be able to have some sort of connection and opportunity to go and spend some time with an animal, even if it's just for a couple of hours. They just some access to get the therapy, because a lot of people could find that it will give them a lot of happiness.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Michael.
First of all, I just wanted to say it's absolutely incredible to meet you all. And I think for myself, being educated and being able to be taught things that I didn't think about in the perspective that maybe I should. Kris and the entire team, this is absolutely incredible. My question is from perspective within the fashion industry and within department stores and fashion stores all across the UK and the world, is you don't see people with disabilities, especially physical disabilities, represented within those environments. And Javeno, you made a good point about the fact that people are scared. And, Daisy, you spoke about the fact that with your course, there's a sense of belonging and the connection that you have with the horses. So I guess my question to everybody is, within fashion and fashion retail, how do we really impact it in a way where not from management to brands overall, seeing people with disability within that without being done in a way where it's a trend, without it being done in a way where let's just tick a box for a period of time, but then, all right, we've done it now, let's move on to something new that'll trend.
So I'm going to pass this question on to, because of the time, I understand the time. I'm going to pass that question on to Jake, and if Ellie, if you wanted to say something about the incredible stuff that you've been doing within fashion. So, Jake.
Yes, it is a tricky one, the idea of representation and whether people are doing it to tick a box or not, and how you continue to represent people again and again. Do I have the answer? That's the question. I'm wondering that myself now. But, the thing is, there's people up here, and there's so many people in the room with disabilities, and there's so many people with such incredible stories. We could do this night for a whole year, and you would get a different panel with a different story, and, that idea of who you could involve is never going to be tired. There's never going to not be the next disabled person with a story to tell. And it does take incredible people like Ellie to be, spearheading the face of disability inclusion, getting in vogue and stuff. Wow. It does take stuff like that, but there's never going to be the next person who wants to have their voice heard. So I don't think you'll be short of people.
Ellie's here, and we've got a lot of people here from Zebedee. Shout out to Zebedee, by the way. Ellie, we know that Ellie has done some groundbreaking things. I know firsthand that, going back to what I said earlier on about seeing real representation, could you imagine just for a moment that you have an 8-year-old boy or an 8-year-old girl who has Down syndrome to see some form of identity when they look at someone like Ellie? their whole arena has just completely changed because they have the ability to dream. I mean, who would have thought 20 years ago we would have had a Down syndrome model for Gucci? I mean, like, let's be honest. I mean, come on, you know? I mean, it's mind-blowing. I mean, I know for myself, like, people who know me for real now, you know, shout out to the person in the back. I clearly see you. You know, it's light to people like us. I mean, there's many people in this room right now that may not necessarily fully understand the dynamic. We have a young man here right now, a young boy who looks at me. He's here. Come here. Come, Jacob. Come with me. This little boy here, every day, he watches me. Every day, without fail. He messages me every day. It gives hope. Jacob is exceptional. He's incredible and does amazing things. This young boy has had some serious problems in his life. And yet, he's light and love. And like, this is what this platform is about. It's to give hope to so many people. There's so many children out there. Jacob, sadly, had no education pretty much in the start of COVID. And yet, let's be honest, did the school really care? But yet, let's be honest about it, the school was still taking the money. Let's be open and honest about it. But yet, when we look at what the ability that Jacob can do and the light that he shows the world, that's powerful. So guess what? We're going to go out there and we're going to speak for Jacob. Because who else is going to speak for him? I know firsthand, I am. Are you?
I just have to say it. Oh. Yeah, 100%. So I got room for one more.
Mine's not even a question, really, yeah? Kris, me and you, we had a rocky start to how we met each other, yeah? And you educated me on a few things. And after educating me, there was numerous conversations where me and you spoke. Before the Virgil thing, before all of this stuff. And I said to you, with Open Book, you're going to do something amazing. Yeah? This room right here, all of these people in this room came out for what you and James created. Yeah? And I told you you was going to do something big. See this? It's just the start. Trust me, I'm telling you now. It's just the start.
I'm going to stand behind them as they are the stars of the show. I just want to start off with saying a massive thank you. To give you guys a bit of an idea how this actual project came about, I spoke to Kris on Air Max Day at an event, and he told me a simple sentence: no one wants to work with Open Book. Now, that wasn't necessarily what I said, oh, okay, I'll work with Open Book. No, that wasn't what the conversation was for. We went away, we spoke, we sat down, got the conversation in with James, and we wanted to explore the opportunity of how Footpatrol can be a more inclusive space. For those that don't know, my role is to try and do that as best as we possibly can for Footpatrol. I must admit, it's not always as easy, but we try our best and we do what we can with events like these, and I can only thank you guys massively for showing massive support. So before I give the mic over to James to chat some things, can I get a massive, massive, massive round of applause? I want some cheering, I want the works for everybody that's here and for everyone that came.
It's hard. I always find it quite hard to come and speak, don't I? You're going to cry, and then I'm going to cry, and everyone's going to laugh. You did well. It's something that I've always said to Kris is I find it almost slightly uncomfortable speaking about Open Book. I feel almost not worthy to speak about Open Book. But there is something to say. This is worse than my wedding speech. This man deserved to be celebrated at a point where anyone who knew Kris a few years ago knew that everything seemed dark. When people turn around and talk about Open Book and they say, it's great that you've been involved and it's great that you've helped Kris, I can't take the praise from it. There should be many more people who are doing exactly the same thing as myself, as Jake, as Javeno. We don't need to be praised. It just has to be done. I remember seeing you on FaceTime, on, what did we speak on? Open Book Live? And I've met so many amazing people through this platform. But most of all, everybody in here pushed me to one side. The real hero is Kris. If we do go back 2 years ago, Kris had a pretty torrid time. Kris had just had a stroke, and Kris found it very, very difficult to be able to speak and communicate. But I think it's pretty amazing for everybody here to see just how articulate and incredible Kris has been, not just this evening, but just generally showing up every single week to host and speak with so many amazing people. Everybody here, barring Ashley. I know Ashley, Franklin, there's a number of people here that Kris knows from sneaker days. But so many amazing conversations and so many amazing people here that even I've got the blessing to meet. I would never have met you all unless it was for the hard work of this man here. So I'm not going to get myself too upset, because you know what I'm like. I cry at everything. I think this does mark the start of something amazing. I think it just requires more people who are willing to join us, be part of the conversation. We do need volunteers, we need help. Kris has only got one voice. Chloe, obviously, it's amazing to see you. Chloe joins and does some of the lives. She does as many as she can. But we'd love as many people as possible to get involved with us and help to spread this message. I know Anthony said something really important before about where Open Book should go, talking more about sport. As you can see, I'm probably not the best to speak about sport, or Kris. But yeah, anyone who's willing to get involved and help us spread the message and educate even all of us, including you, I think we would be hugely grateful. I know there's a special person in the back left that Kris was waiting to turn up, so you can maybe give her a wave. I think that's about it, really. I think just on behalf of me and Kris and all of the wonderful people in front of us, including all of you, we're hugely grateful for showing up, for being part of this conversation, and we genuinely hope, alongside with Bradley, hopefully, that we continue this on a more regular basis. So thanks for coming out. Please do stay behind, have a drink with us, and hope to hear more from you all. And please just do share these videos, these messages as much as possible. But my love from me and Kris to all of you, thank you for really, really, really making this something far bigger than we ever thought it could be. So thank you.
Well done, Ellie. Ellie, to high five. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.